All right, guys. So just to retrack what we're doing. So finding the HCF for a set of terms. This is important because when we are factorizing any expression, the first thing we want to do is to identify the HCF, pull it out, open our brackets, divide each term in the expression by the HCF, and then whatever we get as a result, we put them in the bracket, then we close the bracket, and that's how we would complete the factorization process when we're using HCF method. All right, so we've been looking at these terms just to practice how to find HCF. And in order to find the HCF of each letters in each of these terms, we look for the letters that are common with all the terms. Then we pick out those letters with their lowest powers. And so for this one, we would have the lowest power of A is A, lowest power of B is B squared, lowest power of C is C squared. We group those together for our HCF. This was the second example. We see that X and Y would be common to all three. Z, however, is not common to all three, so we would not pick out the Z. So we saw where the lowest power of X is just X to the power 1, lowest power of Y squared. So we group those together for our HCF. Now for a situation where we have numbers mixed with letters, we pull out the HCF for the numbers. In this case, the highest number that can go into 3, 6, and 24 would be 3. So we pull out 3 as the HCF for the numbers. For the letters, we look at the common letters in all the terms, and we see where only M and N common. Is it only M and N? No, M and P. M and P common in all of these. So we'll pick out 3, which is common to all the numbers. And we'll pick out M. The lowest power of M is just M squared. And then we pick out P, which is the lowest power of P is P squared. So our HCF for this set of terms will be 3M squared P squared. And we were looking at these just now. We say that the HCF for the first question would simply be lowest power of P, which is P squared, and the lowest power of Q is Q. So it's P squared Q for the HCF for the first one. For the second question, we look at the common letters. Only A and B are common. Lowest power of A is just A to the power 1. Lowest power of B will be B squared. So we pick out AB squared as the HCF. For question 3, in terms of the numbers, 3 is common with 2, 3, 6, and 12. Pick out 3. For the letters, only M and N common in all 3 of them. So we pick out lowest power of M, which is M, and the lowest power of N, which is N. So our HCF here would be 3MN. Now for question 4, I think it was Miss Green who started us off with question 4, and we were interrupted by that outage. So Miss Green, would you like to just continue from question 4?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
B, sir.
So the HCF for question 4 is
B, sir.
yes, B. All right. Anybody else agree with Miss Green? Let me see your hand. We're in agreement with Miss Green. All right, very good. So for the numbers, obviously there is no common factor for the numbers. There's no number that can go into all 3 of these numbers. So we wouldn't choose any number for the HCF for the numbers given. When we look at A and B, only the B common right through all terms. So the HCF is simply B. Miss Cox, are you there?
Sir?
Can you do stand 5 for us and tell us what is the HCF here?
3 X, Y, and Z.
All right, so in terms of the number, 3 would be common for all the numbers. X is common right throughout all the terms. Lowest power of X is simply X. For the Y is also common throughout all the terms. So Y, the lowest power of Y would be just Y. And for the Z is also common, so they choose the lowest power of Z. So you will get what? 3XYZ. Correct, Miss Green. All right. So with all of that, now we can go back to our factorization process. So for this example now, if we're to factorize it, first we need to find the HCF. Pull out the HCF. What is the HCF here? Anybody?
Sir.
I didn't quite hear that just now. Can you repeat? HCF here would be?
MN.
MN. So
MN.
we pull out the MN. Open our brackets. What next? What are we doing next, students? Can somebody?
Sir, we say MN. Sir, are you hearing me?
Yes.
Are you hearing me, sir?
Yes, Miss Wilson, go ahead.
Sir, we say MN into M square N would leave us with M.
Right. So if you want to be a little bit what I would say, a little bit them one at a time. You could do the M
Okay, sir.
here and the N with the N and so on. So continue, Miss Wilson. So when we
left with M.
M and the N would cancel out. So here we put.
So M into M square, sir, leave us with M.
Right, continue.
Sir, I'm not hearing you.
Yeah, go ahead, Miss Wilson, continue. I don't think she's hearing me.
We say M into 2MN square. You're hearing me, sir?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now. Go ahead. So MN into 2MN square.
Sir?
Yes, go ahead.
Take away sign because.
All right, so the connectivity between me and Miss Wilson is a little, it's not so good. It's very poor. So I'm just going to continue. So we would divide 2MN square. So M into M would cancel. So we would put down the 2. And then now N into N square, one of have N to the power 1. So that's N canceling out with 2N, just going to leave 1N. All right. So what we have in the brackets here would be M minus 2N. All right. All right, Miss Wilson, we are back, right? All right, so the first step, we find our HCF, then we position our HCF, open our bracket, divide each term by the HCF. So here we would find our HCF as Mn. We would take out Mn, divide each of these terms in the expression by Mn. So when we divide the first term, M into M squared leave M, N into N cancel. So we just have M in the first term of the brackets. And then now we see there's nothing to divide the 2, so we put back the 2. And now we say M into M cancel and N into N squared leave N. All right. Let me see the hands of those who are following me so far, if you're seeing what is happening. All right, very good. So that is that one. Now look at this one here. Who want to volunteer to factorize this question for us? Miss Lang. Good evening, Miss Lang. Miss who I'm talking to, Miss Malika. Miss Malika, are you there? All right, Miss Caveira, you want to go ahead?
Yes, sir, I would like to try.
All right, go ahead.
So for the lowest common factor of 3.
All right, so in terms of factors, we are not looking for the lowest one, we are looking for the highest common factor. All right, remember.
Okay, factor, I got.
So the lowest common for the numbers is said?
I got 3x squared y.
All right, so the HCF is 3x squared x squared y. Anybody that's in agreement with Ms. Caveira for the HCF?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we open our brackets, then we do what now, Ms. Caveira?
First you will cancel out divide the 3x squared y by 3x cubed y.
You mean,
and that will to
hold on, Ms. Caveira. You're going to divide the 3x to the 4th y by the 3x squared y. That's what you meant to say, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so go ahead.
That would be 3x squared y.
All right, so here we would have the 3.
It would just be 3x. It would be just x squared. Yeah.
All right, so you look for what cancel and cancel those out. So 3 cancel with 3, y cancel with y. Now x squared into x4. What you do, you simply subtract this 2 from the 4, and you're left with x to the power 2. So here we would have x squared, as you rightfully say, or said. And then now we move on to the next term. Keep whatever sign you have in the expression in the brackets. Continue now, Miss Caveira.
Okay, for the next set, I have 3xy when I cancel it.
All
when
right.
I cancel.
So when you cancel the 9 with the 3, you get 3.
Yeah, and then the x
With the x squared, you just get x.
yeah, and then y.
And y into y squared just give you y. And then now for the next term, remember we're keeping the same signs in the expression in the bracket. Continue, Miss.
The next one is 2y squared.
All right, so 3 into 6 goes 2. And x into x squared cancel. Y into y cubed leave y squared. All right, and so we close our brackets, and that would be the result of factorizing that expression. So our factors would be 3x squared y, those would be one factor. Well, actually, those are technically 3 factors grouped together. But the idea here is that we have all factors multiplying together. So that's when we factorize, we should have just factors multiplying together. All right, so let us move along. So we would have seen where the HCF is 3x squared y, divide each term by 3x squared y, we get what we have in the bracket there. Now, here we have another expression. Who would like to factorize this one for us? Any volunteer? Miss Waysam, are you there? You want to challenge this one? Are you hearing me, Miss Waysam?
Sir, my internet was in and out. Can you go again, please?
Would you like to do this one for us?
Sure, sir.
All right, go ahead.
So the highest common factor would have been CX.
Okay. Would you be a little bit more specific here?
In the numerator, sir, C and X in the denominator.
All right, so here we would have, we find the common factor in the numerator, and then we have it over the common factor in the denominator. So here we would have C in the numerator over lowest power of x in the denominator would be just x.
Yes, yes, sir.
And then we open our brackets.
Yes, sir. And C in the numerator would cancel C, leave with A.
Okay, so we have A in the numerator.
We keep our plus sign.
What about the denominator though?
Sir, X would cancel out X leaving 1, so it's best to just leave A as is.
So this would be A over 1, which is the same as just A.
A, yes, sir.
All right, let's continue.
Yes, sir. C cancel C in the second one, left with just B in the numerator.
All right, so C cancel C in the numerator, leave you with B.
Yes, sir, in the numerator. And then X into X squared, we are left with B over X.
So X into X squared in the denominator give you X. So we have over X.
Yes, sir, we keep our minus sign. And C cancel C in CD, left with D in the numerator. And then X into X cubed, left with, leave you with X squared in the denominator.
Let me see the answer those who in agreement.
Sir, for the last one, I got x squared at the bottom. Oh, you didn't, no worries.
X squared, yeah, correct. All right, so I hope everybody is following so far. Apparently everybody is. So when you factorize, you will get that. All right, you're going to try these quickly for me. These are pretty straightforward. So raise your hand when you're finished. Going to give you about maybe about 10 minutes to do these. Probably not so much. All right, see whether or not you can finish these before 10 minutes. All right, and be prepared to give me the answer for each of them. All right, guys, you have 10 minutes. Go ahead and start.